Take it easy is probably the greatest advice that I ever avoided in my entire life. You see, I think I was in probably 5th or 6th grade, somewhere around there, and we found out on Super Mario Brothers on Nintendo that on level 3-1, at the end of it, you could find this little turtle on the steps, and if you jumped just right and hit it, there would be a glitch, and it would get you every single like a extra life that you could ever imagine. It was unlimited. And this unlocked my brain. I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, because we'd always get to a level and then we would die. And if you died 3 times on Super Mario Brothers, as you know, if you played like I did, you would have to start back at the very beginning. Well, when you had these unlimited lives, then you had unlimited chances. But for me, it unlocked something in me that I literally shut out my friends. I shut out every single person. And with these unlimited lives, I just went through and tried to solve the game. Well, it only took me probably about 2 weeks, and I got to level 8-4, and King Koopa was there, and he was throwing his fireballs. And I remember I got to the end, and I had my my fire throwers, and I was throwing the little fireballs at him. And then his hit me. I shrunk down into the little guy, and I was thinking, what do I do? And then I just timed it. And I timed it, and King Koopa jumped up, and I ran underneath him, and there was the princess. But the sad thing is when I got to the end, it was so anticlimactic that, I thought that life would change. There would be a press conference. There'd be all these things. But none of that was there. And God revealed to me the other day when I woke up, I had done that in so many aspects of my life. Like I had learned a scenario, or I learned a system, and then I just rushed through. And what he said to me the other day was, just take it easy. Take it easy. He wanted me to not only enjoy the process as you hear, but he also wanted me, like in Super Mario, there were so many different levels that I skipped because I found little ways to be able to skip them. But there were so many things that were so enjoyable and so much time with my friends that I didn't realize that journey along the way, all the levels, all the extra men, all the, the little, hidden secrets in Super Mario, that's where the joy was. And so, he impressed on me the other day is just to take it easy. And so as I blazed through different areas of my life, I thought that if I just got to the end, everything would be better. But what I've been realizing as I go is that when you sit in, you get there's a wealth of wisdom just packed into those 3 words, which is take it easy. Proverbs 4 encourages us to slow down, enjoy yourself, and to take it easy. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got 2 shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
If you're not in a men's group, I would suggest you get into one. It's very easy or simple to be able to start one. If you don't have one and you don't know of one, just start one yourself. It could be at a coffee shop. It could be at a breakfast restaurant, wherever it is. It could be at your house, in your backyard. Invite a couple of guys together, create, here's the blueprint. We do a thing called Speaking Life. So use somebody's name in the group and you talk about, tell them why specifically they inspired you that week. Then we do prayer requests, we do praise reports, things that you're excited about, and then we go into reading the Word, right? And we choose to read Proverbs, but you could read any book. I mean, any book that adds wisdom to your life and fills you up, and keep the discussion points on that. And then close with those things too. It's unbelievable, and not only with the men, but also women. You should get into a women's group. I tell you, when you do life with other people, it creates magic, and you get a chance to be able to understand wisdom from a different perspective. And I found that helps out. So yesterday we had our men's group, because we have ours here Tuesday at 7:30 to 8:30 every week here in Carlsbad. And you're invited, if you're in the area or if you want to drive, you can come down. We've got guys who drive in sometimes, Rancho Cucamonga. So, I mean, I'm talking 2.5 hours to come down. Or we have Vista and down in San Diego that come up, 45 minutes an hour, but we would love to be able to have you. Well, our discussion yesterday was all about taking it easy because as men, and especially in our group, we have a lot of founders, CEOs, business owners, guys who have been very successful at what they do, and they come together. And a lot of times when you take alphas and you put them in there, it's not a lot of alphas are taking it easy. And, in this part, we encourage you. I'm going to put a link in the bio to the song. There's a couple of songs, Take It Easy, one by Forrest Frank, and then there's one, or I think it's Surfaces with Forrest Frank. And then there's also the Eagles, which is the most heralded Take It Easy song. And as we walked through this, what I noticed that almost everybody took a deep breath. They exhaled a little bit and they relaxed a little bit. And, it was God just helping us to understand that he's in control. And then all the things that we want, and this is where I get challenged, right? So Inchstones, and if you're tuning in for the first time, it's the small little things that you could put in play and then celebrate that become the milestones, right? And as a commentator of this and as your guide through it, I'm a guy who's in it, I haven't been through it and then I know it all. I'm going through it. I don't have it all figured out, and I'm trying to figure it out. And every time I try to, I realize that what God is saying is just chill out and take it easy. And this is probably one of the hardest things to do. I think one of the simplest things to do as a person who's a doer is to just go do more things. But when you're told to take it easy, that's where the challenge lies. And the simplicity, wisdom is so simple, right? I was just talking with my PR group yesterday. And they asked me about it, and they asked me the basis of what Inchstones or why I study, Proverbs, the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day. And what I was telling them is there's a cycle, right? And so that cycle is, number one, is we want to seek out wisdom, because wisdom is the right use of knowledge, right? So imagine if you had the right use of knowledge, you had wisdom. That's what Solomon asked for. He was the wealthiest guy to ever live. And when God asked him, what would you want? He said one thing, wisdom. Right? He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for things. He asked for wisdom, because if you have wisdom, you can grow money, you can grow relationship, you can grow all those things because it's the right use of knowledge. Well, when we figure out and we study wisdom, the beginning of all wisdom is the fear of God. The fear of God is the respect of him. And to be able to, if you take those words in the culture and context of when that phrase was said, fear of God, it doesn't mean fear and trembling. It actually meant the respect. So to fear someone was not like, oh, I'm so scared of you. It was that I respect you. Well, how are you able to respect someone? Well, you respect someone because you see their words and you see their actions. They are in line, and then you start to respect them. So that respect is the beginning of all wisdom, which is the right use of knowledge. Well, then comes the cycle. Once you get wisdom, then you can get knowledge. Then that knowledge will bring understanding. The understanding will bring insight. The insight will bring discretion. Discretion will bring discernment. Discernment will bring discipline. Discipline will bring strength. And it'll lead you right back to the fear of God. And once that cycle is broken, that's where we start to have challenges within our lives. And what I found when working with companies, corporations, and brands, and even individuals, what I find is if they're lacking insight, it's not insight that we need to seek. That insight comes from understanding, but the understanding comes from knowledge. The knowledge comes from wisdom, and the wisdom will come from a respect of God, right? So it always leads back to that. And once we break that cycle, that's where, again, we'll have challenges in our life. So that's the basis of what Inchstones is. And, as you move forward, you take these proverbs, which there's 31, and there's 31 days in a month most of the time, except this month. And you study in, and first you read the proverb, and then it's amazing because the proverb starts to read you. And so as that proverb, really spoke to me yesterday, and God really started to work with me yesterday, it was just take it easy. And it went to Proverbs 10:22, which says that, that he will bring massive gain without laborious toil, meaning that he's the one in control. So it's his purpose, his plan, and his timing, which is challenging because we want things to happen on our time. And the challenge that I've found with my life is that most of the time God will give me a vision and then I get in a rush. He gives me the overarching vision and he says, this is what I see. And I'm like, okay, cool. I want that now. And what my wife keeps reiterating, like, here's a vision that he told me. He said, it'll be a small theater, then a House of Blues or like venue that'll be 3,000 to 5,000. Then there will be MGM Grand Garden Arena or Mandalay Event Center or a like venue that'll be 10,000 to 13,000. It'll be Madison Square Garden, 17,000 to 19,000, and then it'll culminate in Soldier Field, 70,000 to 100,000 people that I'll speak to. This is what he told me probably 5, 6 years ago, and I instantly jumped to Soldier Field. Well, my wife was saying, no, he'll build it just the way he builds everything else, brick by brick. So it'll be an audience of 1, an audience of 2, an audience of 3, and then you'll start to move. And it's been amazing because over the course of these 6 years, I've started to see those things come into fruition. I've done the small theater. I've done the House of Blues or a like venue. I've been at the Mandalay Bay Event Center, but God showed me it. I was on stage there for an event, and he showed it to me, but the audience was empty. And he had me look out, and what he told me was, this is going to happen, but I want you to see it before I fill the seats. I don't know if you're like me, but a lot of times when we get that overarching vision or the milestone that we want to hit, we get in a rush to be able to get there. And what God is saying is, take it easy, because I'm going to build it brick by brick, faith to faith, glory to glory. So I want to encourage every one of you today, just take it easy. Take it easy. All the things that you desire, which is a desire of your heart, that God placed on your heart, those things are going to come into fruition, but they're not going to come into fruition the way that you think they are. It's not going to be your timing. It's going to be his timing. And so I want to encourage you, right wherever you're at, if you're frustrated in that. But in Proverbs 4, it really encourages us to slow down and enjoy yourself and just to take it easy. And it's not to throw caution to the wind, do nothing. What he's saying is calling us to a simple relationship with him and realizing that it's his purpose, his plan, his timing. And when we do that, we can really be present with the people that where we're at, the situations. And then when we're present, magic happens in that present moment. So let's hop into Proverbs 4, and he kept it very simple. As we went through our men's group yesterday, it was incredible because it opened up a discussion about how simple God's love is, but how complicated we try and make it. One of my friends in the men's group, his name is Mike Smalls. You're a huge inspiration to me. What he said is he's been learning a lot about God through his grandson. So he's spending time with his grandson, and to him, his grandson is absolutely perfect. And he was like, God showed me that that's the way that he sees me. And imagine if we understood that God saw us through a perfect lens, through perfection. We wouldn't be so hard on ourselves either, and we would take it easy. In verse 1 through 4, wisdom is simple and always available when you're seeking it. I mean, most of these, it's incredible how wisdom is so simple in that way. In verse 5 through 9, wisdom and understanding aren't complicated unless you're a bonehead. And I don't know about you, but I've been a bonehead a lot in my life, and a lot of times I want to complicate things. It literally, God just says, come to me, seek me, and he'll provide the wisdom. And that wisdom will bring knowledge. The knowledge will bring understanding, insight, discretion, it'll bring discernment. Discernment will bring discipline. Discipline will bring strength. And then it'll lead you back to the fear of God. In verse 10 through 12, when you listen and accept wisdom, the path is obvious. I had a talk with one of my friends, Stephanie, yesterday, and we were sitting down, and she was talking about a couple of different scenarios. And what I told her, she's been my mentor since 1997. Okay, so we're talking almost 30 years. And what I told her is, I said, Steph, I don't think you ever have to worry which decision you make is going to be the right. You make the right decisions. You take them through. You have wisdom. You do those kind of things. It's just, you just ask yourself, is this what I want to do? Because when you focus in on it, it's going to be successful. And this thing in verse 10 through 12, when you listen and accept wisdom, the path will be obvious. But there's the caveats. We have to be listening and accepting the wisdom that is there. And the wisdom is the right use of knowledge, and all the beginning of all wisdom is the fear of God. So if you're spending time with God, the path will be obvious. In verse 13, this was a standalone verse today, and it was, once you find wisdom, hold on to it and guard it. This is what my mom talked about all the time to me. Like, guard your heart, guard your heart and seek wisdom. Seek wisdom, fill your heart with wisdom, and then guard your heart at all costs. Once you find wisdom, hold on to it and guard it at all costs. And see, the crazy thing is, wisdom isn't something that you accumulate. Wisdom is something that is constantly, it's in motion, it's new, it's fresh. And what God wants to do is he wants to refresh you every single day. And some of us need to be refreshed because we're a little tired or weary in what it is that we're doing. But I want to encourage you right in this moment right now that he's taking you through this. And this is just going to be a story for you. This area is just going to be a story that is going to be so inspiring to so many people. But make sure that you take it easy in this place. Take it easy on yourself. In verse 14 through 17, playing with fire is silly, and silliness brings pain. This, it sounds like my mom talking to me, like, playing with fire. Like, now, fire isn't bad. It can warm you up and it can save your life because, it can create warmth in your life. But if you play with it, that's just silly. And silliness will always bring pain in your life. And don't get mad at God because of the pain that you experience from the silly decisions that you make. We have the ability to be able to make the decisions. But that's the same as judging God on man's inconsistencies, and that's a lot of times what we do. In verse 18 and 19, the right path is bright. The right path is bright. See, doing the right thing, you have to be in touch with God, and what God will do is he'll just light up the path for you. So that path will be bright when you're on the right path. It doesn't have to be that complicated. In verse 20 through 22, focus on wisdom, and you can take it easy. If you focus on wisdom, you can be in that moment. You can be right there. The example of it is my wife. My wife is stick to the plan, but go with the flow. Stick to the plan, but go with the flow. This woman, honestly, is the most present woman I've ever met in my entire life. When she's doing hair on a photo shoot, which she's doing today for a major brand, she's just there. She's not mom. She's not wife. She's just there. When she's at home, she got home last night, and she just became like mom. And she's the greatest mom in the world. And then, when she comes in, she's in the salon. She's just the hairdresser in the salon. And she is present wherever she's at. She was just up in Sundance with her girlfriends from a middle school. And they were having so much fun, and they were completely present. Now, they were listening to some Bruno Mars music that I listened to the other night. Man, that newest stuff that he did, wow, that was pretty strong. But they were dancing it up, and they were just being present. So focus on wisdom, and you can take it easy. If you want to take it easy in your life, I tell you, there is nothing more joyous than taking it easy. I realized the other day we took Skylar and Ziggy for a walk, and around the neighborhood, and I got a chance to be able to hang with some friends, and dogs were playing and doing all this stuff, and I was walking home, and I was like, I really love this aspect of my life. But I didn't have to be doing anything most of the time. My head is moving. I got to be doing this, doing that, accomplishing this, and God was just, take it easy. And in verse 23, as we finish up, is guard your heart. Guard your heart. My mom said this all the time, like, fill your heart up with wisdom and then guard your heart. The way that something gets into your heart is through your eyes, through your ears, and through your senses. And what you, so through your senses, what you experience. So watch out what you are looking at, where your focus is at. Be conscious of what you're listening to. And fill your heart up with wisdom. That's where your heart is filled by your eyes, your ears, and your senses. So just be conscious of the things that you're intaking, because then you'll get wisdom in your heart. And when you do, guard it at all costs. Guard your heart at all costs. In verse 27, as we finish up, is watch your mouth, speak life, focus on wisdom, walk in integrity, be steadfast, and take it easy. God is in control. That could actually be a song. I don't know if it would be any good, but watch your mouth, speak life, Focus on wisdom, walk in integrity, be steadfast, and take it easy because God is in control. I want to encourage you today. You see, God's grace, love, and peace are not complicated. He simply wants to spend time with you. He is working on your behalf in ways that you cannot even fathom. He wants you to enjoy every level of the Super Mario Brothers while finding all the secret hidden blocks. And the only way that you could do that is by taking it easy. So I encourage you, 2 things today. Well, 3 things. Number 1, write something down. No matter what it is, write it down manually, analog today. Number 2, listen to the Eagles, take it easy. And number 3, play Super Mario Brothers today. It'll take you back to being a little kid and a little joy in your heart. So I hope you had a phenomenal time today, and you're going to have an incredible day. I want to encourage you. Also, we got the Vibe Experience, April 12th. We got Baron Baptiste. We got Keith Hale. We got James Dixon. We got Peter Anthony Wynn, who is unbelievable. We've got one of the best entrepreneurs in the world. We've got one of the best coaches in the world, and Coach Keith. We got the top motivational speaker in the world, and we also got one of the top marketers in the world also. And oh yeah, I'll be there too. We'll be aligning your vibe, your heart, your mind, and your skills. Put them in line. Create an irresistible vibe. April 12th, that is at the Edison House in Salt Lake City. The Vibe Experience. Have a wonderful day. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got 2 shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk